Being a parent is a huge responsibility since you're tasked with how you will raise the next generation. But where's the instruction manual for being a parent? For all we know, it's on a case-per-case basis. Fortunately, esteemed clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson has several tips under his sleeve. For today's video, we'll be talking about why you need strong role models in your life according to Jordan Peterson. So keep watching for more. Jordan Peterson exclaims, "We have to be more than we are" as role models for the younger generation. In a recent interview with London Real, Jordan Peterson spoke candidly about certain rules in life, and in this particular video, we'll be focusing on taking responsibility instead of presuming that symbolic representations are merely superstitions or serve no use. Peterson tends to view them through the prism of evolutionary biology. We, as a society, believe that there is a father-like deity. Therefore, it can be thought of as an immortal, disembodied spirit with paternal traits. Just like that, take away its metaphysics. What could the notion that there is an everlasting paternal spirit be a reflection of? You may mimic your father, but your father also imitated his father, who in turn imitated his father. So, in a way, what your father really imitated was the pattern of fathers throughout history, which you could equate to the transcended father. That's the right way to think about it, and it's even developmentally and neurologically sound, because when a child imitates his father in pretend play, for instance, while pretending to be your father while playing house, it makes sense from a developmental and neurological perspective. When you imitate your father, you might act like, "No, if I'm imitating you, I do this, right?" But when you pretend to be your father, you act much more sophisticatedly than that. According to Peterson, when you pretend to be your father, you observe your father in a variety of situations, and then you abstract out the traits of behavior and attitude that define him as your father. It's unbelievably sophisticated. To put it simply, the renowned clinical psychologist went on to say that what the young child is acting out in pretend play is taking on the form of the father's deceased spirit. That is the disembodied spirit, but it is also a reflection of the child's attempts to communicate with the father, not only of this particular parent's eccentric nature. The generalization made by the child across all of those circumstances is itself a reflection of the imitation of the father going all the way back, and so you conclude that it is a disembodied soul that has taken on the form of all the fathers throughout history. What exactly is that? It's a judge, that much is certain. Peterson continued by saying that anything analogous to the patriarchal spirit can still be abstracted even when you deal with the hierarchy of living males. You are not thinking if you don't believe that is a judgment. It is unquestionably a judgment. You were ranked according to this in a hierarchy. Even feminists claim that this disembodied, judging, patriarchal mentality permeates our culture. There is some truth in that. Of course, they simply perceive it as a despot, which is a grave error. To be more specific, the extreme leftist feminist critics, not all of whom are even feminists, claim that there is nothing but oppression and exclusion in our hierarchies. When there are no riots in the streets, electricity is on, the water is running, and people are fed, clothed, and protected from their adversaries. They say this while lounging in comfy armchairs. Peterson finds it so absurd that he finds it hard to believe we have even reached this place. They are not looking at hierarchies, which is why this is the case. Moreover, hierarchies naturally tend to become corrupt and blind, and when they do, they are more likely to be ruled by individuals who view the use of power as their primary method of being. However, that does not imply that the bloody hierarchy was always only a tyrannical abuse of power. That is the definition of the ultimate authoritarian regime, and if you believe that Western culture fits that description, your level of naivete is astonishing. Peterson sarcastically questioned about your actual father. What type of relationship do you have with your father? It is frequently ambiguous, right? Because he had a part of him that inspired you, hopefully, because the world would be a depressing place without your father's inspiration. Being brave is quite tough unless you have your father, both physically and emotionally, behind you. It is quite discouraging. People who don't have their mothers suffer a great deal, and they never fully recover. However, he believes that a broken father-child relationship is the next worst thing, and that people may recover from it. It's as if the spirit of civilization has abandoned you outside the walls as being of little significance. If your father rejects you or doesn't establish a relationship with you, people find it very challenging to bounce back from it. The father should therefore be a motivating force, but you can also be a tyrannical and crushing force. As a result, this is a very challenging concept to grasp, in part because if you're my son, I should hold you to the highest standards of conduct and I should constantly be judging what you're doing. It should be my goal while grading it to bring out the best in you. Yet it might be challenging to strike the perfect balance. Therefore, let's say it's simple for a parent to lean too much toward judgment. Naturally, moms can also take on this role, going too far into the realm of criticism and being excessively harsh, to the point that the father develops his own psychopathology and will do it imperfectly. He can be the type of father that devours his son out of resentment over the new opportunities, potential, and competition for the mother's and other children's love and attention. Numerous things have the potential to be disastrous. As a result, the father is depicted as the wise king. Peterson would say that this is another symbol that has been greatly lost in contemporary universities because all we are taught to do is to tear it down and fail to recognize how it manifests itself everywhere, especially in those institutions that are as close to an ideal environment as humans have ever been able to create. The son who devours the monarch who devours his own son is the exact reverse of that. That is the dictator. That is the masculine equivalent of a mother who is too protective. And the overly protective mother promises, "I'll never let anything happen to you." But perhaps you actually want something bad to happen to you. It's a little bit of a blanket statement. The right attitude is to say, "No, I'm going to make you strong so any number of things can happen to you, and when you need some care, I'll be there. But otherwise, out into the world with you." For the father, it means, "Get your bloody act together, but I'm on your side. Not because I want to destroy you or degrade you or push you down in the dominance hierarchy, but because I want the best in you to emerge." Standards are necessary, because otherwise, what are you wasting your life for? There's a lot more to you, might be said. Peterson recently spoke with a lot of people, and while doing so, he ran into one of the Conservative Party's leaders, who asked him about Bill C-16 in general, and specifically speaking with young people in light of the current struggle for the party's leadership. Since everyone talks to you about rights, it seems as if we need our rights. He has been speaking to a number of them and said, "Well, look, one of the things you could do for young people that no one is doing is to talk to them about responsibilities." The Conservatives actually have something to sell young people for the first time in their whole adult life, right? They might sell them on taking charge. Why? Because with duty comes meaning in life. Your life will have more purpose the more duty you accept, and it will also be richer the more responsibility you deliberately commit to strive to accept. And that's the truth. Nobody has ever told you that. Peterson concluded by noting that because it's intricate, it's going to be difficult. You have a challenging job and try to advance the professional lives of those around you. You also try to resolve difficult issues and alleviate pain. This is all a heavy burden, but there is an honor in it. Young people are starving for this because no one ever informs them that it has true glory and profound purpose. You are far more than you realize, so get up and take a risk. Do something heroically challenging, right? Escape from your restraints. We must be greater than we are, because if we aren't, we aren't. Thus, that is a good and important lesson. With that, we're wrapping up today's video about Jordan Peterson's thoughts on why you need role models in life. Thanks for watching today's video, and before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. We'll see you again next time.